trying to move this damn light down. Oh my god. I'm having one of those days. All right, can you hear me now? I am so agitated, dude. All right, can you hear me? All right. I will play with that later. I'm going to be on TikTok, yes, but I'm going to be coming back here because I'm going to need my phone later. But I am going to go on to TikTok right now just to get people over here. So it's so frustrating because I had a decent room going. And then it decided it was going to do this to me. Like, are you serious right now? So, all right, guys, here we go. So I'm sorry that happened. Twice I could not get any sound anywhere from anything. I don't know what was. I made the mistake of trying to see how the sound was on my phone, and now I can't get them to accurately go back to my computer. So awesome. All right. So, hey. So this live is going to be essentially on YouTube, but I went on to TikTok to maybe pull some people over here. I want to talk about something, and I have a bunch of clips that are on my phone that I will be able to show here once I kind of get people from there to here. We're gonna try to do it for just a little short time. So to set this up, before we get going with the video clips that I want to show you, and there's a few. I want to bring some people up to speed. So there is a girl who does channeling. I don't really know who she is. I had come across the video, but I did not watch it. Then somebody sent it to me and was like, so I watched it. And it is a girl who does channeling for deceased people. And she happened to decide to do a session with Dee Dee Blanchard. And at first, I didn't watch it because I don't know. Like, do I put a lot of stock in a lot of stuff? No, not necessarily. So, but something happened in her video that made me want to have this live today. So if you guys remember, and I went back and I looked, this is going to be essentially on YouTube. I'm bringing people from TikTok over to YouTube because I'm going to need to use my phone that I'm on because my tablet is, I can't get anything to work today. I cannot get anything to work. So I'm going to need to use my phone. So we're going to go on TikTok here for a minute, try to bring people over to YouTube to show the rest of, because I'm going to need to use my phone to access the videos. So she had done this this channeling session with a bear, and with the bear you have to touch it, okay? And so she was asking different questions, this, that, or whatever. And one of the things that really made my jaw go like, wait a minute, wait, what? Was she has this bear and she is asking Dee Dee questions. And so one of the questions that she asked, y'all thought I was, well, some of y'all thought I was crazy, and some of y'all agreed with me, and some of y'all thought I was crazy. I will absolutely be playing my dramatization. Now, what does that have to do with anything? What does that have to do with anything? What, you think somebody was touching it? Anyway, so there was a bear and she was asking the bear questions, and the bear was doing things or whatever. So there was a brick wall behind the bear. It would have been more believable. That would have been a lot more green screeny, don't you think? Apparently she does this stuff all the time, so apparently she just fakes all of her stuff, I guess. Yeah, I see that, Linda. I see that. So, anyways, there was a session, there was a point in there where she asked if Dan had been involved, which I thought was a pretty wild take to go to, even though that was something that me and Fancy had started talking about way back in the day. But what was interesting was the questions that she was asking that had to do with prior to what had happened, if things had happened beforehand, which I thought was interesting. So I have the video. I have the video. Let's see. I want to see if what Shelly is saying. Oh shit, I'm breaking everything. I had to start my YouTube live twice. My tablet is not functioning correctly. Everything is not working for me. The tablet was dead, and then now it won't turn on. It's a brand new tablet. Everything is shorting out on me. It is wild. I've only had these types of things happen very rarely. They don't happen so much anymore. But I've shorted out every single electronic device I've tried to use today. Not really sure what's going on. I cannot even. There we go. There we go. All right. So before we get into it, let's see. Let's see if I can access this on here. I don't know. All right. I know, right? And this is the third time I've started this live about Dee Dee, by the way. My microphones wouldn't work. Not my tablet wouldn't work. So hold on, let's see. So okay, so
I actually found this teddy bear in the back of my closet. I forgot that I actually have it in here, and I thought it was perfect.
Okay, so let's talk about what Shelly was talking about real quick. Okay, so she's saying that the curtains were moving. There's a fan going. Did you not hear the fan? There is a fan. You can obviously see those are curtains behind her, and there is a fan going. That is why the curtains are moving. FYI. I have the whole thing here. I did have somebody send it to me. I know this is wild. I'm being quieted, damn it. She literally says there's a fan on because it's hot. Something could slip through while moving. Bro, I'm looking right at this. I'm looking right at you know, you need to be quiet. All right. We're just gonna ignore Shelly because she's being a negative Nancy at this point. So, anyways, what we're gonna do is I have this video of this girl. Her name is Candy Star. What a name. Anyway. It kind of does. Watch it. Okay, you know what? Actually, let's just do this because I'm not gonna be there we go. We'll mute you for the entire live because I'm going to try to do this and I'm not going to be distracted. I don't want to be distracted. You guys know how my ADHD is. The second I get distracted, I go off the rails and I go over here and I can't say what I'm going to say. So anyway, there is a video and it's about a 15-minute long video. And it's talking about, she was asking a bunch of questions. Now we're going to play the video. I'm going to actually just kind of play what I got right here. And then I'm going to kind of stop and talk or whatever. And at one point, we're going to have to switch completely over to YouTube because there's something on my phone I need to show. Actually, I don't. I could probably look it up on TikTok. I might not have to get off here. If I get blocked for any reason, this is me on YouTube. I get taken off of TikTok very quickly. So this is my YouTube. All right, so actually we'll talk for just a second. Let me pull up the other thing I want to show you guys on. Yeah, okay, the latest update is here. Skip. I don't want to find friends.
If you were a teenager,
I don't need me. All right, okay, so we're gonna try to do this, and I wanna just watch me not be able to find it on here now. Yep. Sure as can be. Can't find it on here now. All right, we'll try. We'll do it this way. Hold on. There's always ways to find things. Love my shirt. Hold on, let me overthink this. That's because I was having a freaking disaster nightmare happen here. All right. So there is one other way to do this. I didn't want to have to do it this way, but we can do it this way too. Hold on. In the meantime, while I am doing this, how is everybody? Is everybody doing good? We'll do it this way if we have to. Didn't want to. Oh wait, hold on. So we are going to do. Just bear with me. If you don't have the attention span to get me through this, you're not gonna have the attention span for this live. So I didn't realize how okay, perfect. All right. So I can do this without getting off of TikTok for the time being. Okay, so there's a girl, her name is Candace Starr. She's doing the touch a bear thing. Okay, now we're gonna do this. Okay. So
because I feel like I have too much information and I don't want to get my pants. I don't have anything prepared. I just wanted to just be in tune with it. And my name is Candace Starr.
So there's a bear. Okay. And she shows that it's not sound activated. It's only touch activated. Okay. It's only touch activated. So at first I'm like, whatever. You know what I mean? But there's one thing that I wanted to really talk to you guys about, and we're gonna get to it here. She's buzzing the bear. Okay, she's not touching it. There is curtains behind her. There's a fan for those of you.
I feel like everything that's being told to the media is a lie.
There's a session in here that I want to just refresh your guys' memory back into January. If you know what I'm talking about, back in January, stick around because I'm going to show you something. Because this is the one thing that got my brain going for a second. Okay.
Do you understand that when you touch this bear, that it confirms what I'm talking about? Okay.
Okay, so
all right.
She's not super touching it, but you can hear the confirmation. She understands touch, okay?
The day before your death or the night of your death, anywhere between that time, did Dan come to your house at all?
Do you remember what me and Fancy used to talk about?
I have the full-blown chills. Okay.
Just bear with me a second. Do you remember what me and Fancy used to talk about?
I actually feel very sick right now. Like, I want to... Okay. Oh, my God. Okay. I actually wasn't expecting any answers, so... Okay.
Hold on.
Did Dan and Gypsy hurt you before Nick got there, Dee Dee?
Now, nothing happens right here. Nothing happens, okay? This is the part that I thought was weird. So she was talking about her and Dan, which me and Fancy used to talk about all the time before we went split,
Maybe
right?
I should rephrase the question. Did Gypsy... Yo, as soon as I said her name, did Gypsy hurt you before Nick got there?
Do y'all remember that little dramatization I did?
Did it hurt you at all?
I'm not going to say this wasn't weird for me.
Was Gypsy in love with Dan?
Do you remember all the stuff me and Fancy used to talk about with Dan? And then Bree tried to say it's not the same Dan. Now, I'm not going to go down that route. I'm not going to go down that route. But she tries saying it's not the same Dan because, well, Gypsy told her to.
Was Dan in love with Gypsy?
Whether or not it's the same Dan, I couldn't tell you. Not going to go that route. That's not my point for today. But I find it funny that they're trying to say it's not him all of a sudden. Just saying.
God.
Just saying. Maybe it is, maybe it ain't. I'm not going down that route today.
make sure it's.
But what way to better deflect? Just saying. Throwing devil's advocate here. Devil's advocate. I don't know if it is or it isn't.
Was Nick 100% framed? 100.
Keep listening. This is weird. Because I will play you the dramatization afterwards if I have to.
Were you on the verge of death when Nick got there?
Remember my dramatization. This is exactly what I said happened. Just saying.
Oh, there was a red one on the hand. I can't really see that in the camera, but I saw blue. That's crazy. Okay. Did you ever mean any type of trauma? Did you ever hurt Gypsy?
So then she goes on for a second. And then, hold on.
Or were there ever procedures? Were they?
This was talking about the procedures, whatnot. Then the bear freaks out. She has to reset it.
Doing
that. And then the next thing was that was weird.
Okay, so I feel like that last question really irritated her.
Hold on.
Like, it was just words. We weren't really like, she wasn't really having those procedures done.
I want to know.
Correct? I am shaking right now. Okay.
I want to know why both Thea's parody account and Thea's parody account is in here. And why one of them has and then there's another one that has my cousin's close to my cousin with that name on it, with that picture.
Like, did Gypsy have any part in a weapon?
I seen the other one join too. Thea's in here.
A bat?
Yeah.
A gun? A stick? A knife? Was the knife the last thing I said? Stop! Oh, damn.
There is one thing that's funnier later. Hold on. I'll actually show you guys this just so we can have a little bit of a laugh. Hold on.
A glass bottle.
So it only goes off for knife, etc. Okay. But then for those of you who did not see it, I want to play this part just because.
A rock?
She only said yes for a knife. But anyways. So then the other part, this is just to have a giggle, I guess. Hold on. Hold on. We're just going to have a little giggle here for a second. Hold on. Hold on.
Do you believe Gypsy's baby is going to be her karma? Correct. That's what I hear. Correct.
Mama mad. Like it's broke. The question was, is Gypsy's baby her karma?
I'm so scared.
It went off for that. Went off. That was the part that I think is kind of funny. That's the part that I think is kind of fun. It's still going off. So, anyways, what I thought was really, really weird is basically everything that you guys thought I was wild about. And maybe I am. Maybe I am. Maybe I am. Maybe I am. But if you guys remember back in January on the 24th, I did a dramatization, and it basically said exactly everything that little bear just said that it happened, which I thought was really strange to wake up to. Was somebody sending me a video saying, hey, this is really weird. I watched it and I'm like, that's literally what I said in the dramatization, almost like to the letter. So if you guys remember, I have another clip which which is on my phone, but I can just tell you guys that one. If you guys remember, there was this was January 24th. I'm not.
She walks into the room. Her mother's asleep. She then proceeds to take out an object. There's 13 hesitation wounds. Nick is not here yet. Nick is not available yet. Nick will show up later. There's 13 hesitation wounds, because the one thing that Gypsy's been consistent about, the one thing she's never changed, is she couldn't do it. And she tried. She tried with the BB gun. And she tried that night. But hear me out. 13 little tiny
It's just
jabs.
weird.
She tried. She tried. And you hear from down here as they're going on. 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't hurt me, Gypsy.
She said, don't hurt me, Gypsy.
6,
that was one of the things she had said.
Don't. 7, 8, 9. Don't, Gypsy. 10.
This was all confirmed
11, 12,
of things she said.
13. She climbs off. As she climbs off, she holds to her mother. She's actually regretful now. Mom, I didn't know what to do, Mom. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Gypsy, I'm not dead yet.
That was the last thing Gypsy says, and Mommy doesn't dare. So that's the last thing she said to her. Was, I'm not dead yet. Weirdly.
She gets a hold of Nick at 10 o'clock. And from 10 o'clock until he gets there, her blood slows. She goes
That's what
down.
the damn bear just said.
And when Nick gets there, he finishes the blood spatter is not where it should be, because
it said that Nick was framed and that she was hurt before he got there. So I just thought that was really weird. That little bear literally said that she hurt Dee Dee before he got there and he was framed. And that's exactly what I had said back in January. So I don't know if that is what happened. I have no idea. But all I can say was she's reading this little bear. She's doing this little bear. And the bear's like, Nick was framed. Nick or Dee Dee was hurt beforehand. She had the knife. They talked about Dan being there, which we had floated that idea. Me and Fancy beforehand for the days prior, we had floated if Dan was there. If he wasn't there, could he have been there? The tire tracks in the yard that nobody could do anything, like that nobody could figure out why these tire tracks were there. The Dan that not in prison, I showed that with proof and court documents. The one that was, and that I still do feel is him, possibly. I feel like it's him. Everybody keeps saying it's not. He was not in prison. I showed that with court documents. Could have been, but he was not. I had all of them, the actual paper documents. They all of a sudden, out of nowhere, one day, for no reason at all, that's not Dan, it's this guy. Look at, these are the Facebook pictures. If you want to go by the fact that supposedly Fancy's Dan is 3 years older, the Facebook pictures that another person puts up saying it's the other Dan are way, way, way younger. So I don't know. I'm not ever going to get on the I think anybody is for sure, because I don't know. But what was weird was basically exactly what I said in that live dramatization was what the bear said. Now, apparently YouTube for the third time tonight is saying that I'm going in and out. My mic stopped twice and now my YouTube is acting up again. Weird. I'm not really sure why this is happening, but okay. It's good now. It's good now. It only happened during that. Perfect. Anyway, I don't know. Am I the bear now? Am I the bear that I glitch when I'm talking things that are right? YouTube is freaking out apparently. It is going in and out while I've been talking about this, but only during while I've been talking about this. It's fine. Now it's fine. Okay. So, um anyway, yeah, my mic when I first got on, my mic wouldn't work. I tried again. It said it was attached. It wouldn't work again. I had to restart and restop my YouTube twice before I could get on. The third time was the charm. And then all of a sudden, for the first time, it started acting up weird on here afterwards. But so anyway, Tills basically what happened was there's a channeling psychic who had a touch bear, and she was asking it all these questions. She didn't really know what to ask. She didn't come very prepared. But she was asking if Dan and Gypsy were there in the day of or the day before, which me and Fancy had floated before the dramatization. And the bear said yes. And then it was asking if Gypsy had hurt her prior to Nick getting there. The bear said yes, which is what my dramatization said. If Gypsy had used a knife, which is what my dramatization said, and if Nick was framed, which is what my dramatization implied. So I just thought it was weird, thought it was funny, thought it was very I don't know. Maybe my dramatization was right. I don't know. Maybe she got ideas from the dramatization and somebody was touching the bear. I don't know. Yeah, and the spirits are not helping this tonight. It's crazy how it backs to the dramatization. Yeah. So, a lot of you guys said I was a little wild when I did it. And maybe I was. Maybe I am. Maybe I don't know. But I have to say, while I was watching that, I was thinking back to, but isn't that exactly what I said? Like, that's exactly what I said, almost completely entirely. But I don't think we'll ever know. I don't think we'll ever know. But I will tell you this: while I was going back into Mommy Dead and Dearest, while I was getting all of this together, because I was contemplating putting up a video, I was watching because I had to go through Mommy Dead and Dearest, and I was trying to like jump around, figuring out where I could find where she said the last thing she said to her is "I'm not dead yet," which is why it made it into the dramatization. And "Don't hurt me." She had two of the things that she said was the last things was "Don't hurt me" and "I'm not dead yet." So that's why they were in the dramatization. And I will tell you, man, y'all need to go back and watch Mommy Dead and Dearest again. Y'all need to don't even have to watch it. Just kind of, it's on YouTube, and just kind of pick a spot. Just kind of pick a spot. You don't even have to watch the whole thing. Watch her in those interviews, because especially in the spots where I was, the amount of giddiness that she sounded while she was giving these interviews is wild. I haven't watched these interviews in a hot minute until basically I was back with Fancy, and we were doing, we were dissecting a lot of these things. And I didn't realize I haven't been back watching the videos for a hot minute, but my Lord, those are pretty. She is giddy. I mean, I could probably show it to y'all. What I mean, it's because she is like giddy in the spot that I found. It was wild. I was like, girl, you are talking about your mama and her unaliving. Like, hold on, let me see if I can find it on here. Hold on. It was about right, maybe right. Come on.
Told him everything.
Hurry, time she. Okay,
I thought it's gonna be perfect.
Watch me not. Watch me not be able to find the spot I'm talking about now.
And had a thought in my brain.
Restaurant for 9 hours.
no matter how much control you have.
We kept it from our mom.
What?
Each other's nails.
Okay, here you go.
And I acted like everything was fine.
No, this isn't the giddy part.
We had just recently gotten into an argument.
Got into an
And we
argument.
had made up.
Got into an
And I
argument.
said I was going to be a good girl. And then when she went to sleep, I guess I hurt her feelings or something. And she said
She went to sleep.
starting to feel more relaxed. Don't hurt me. The last word she said to me was, don't hurt me.
Not good night. The last thing she said to me was, don't hurt me. The last thing. Not good night, not I love you. The last thing. I'm sorry. I think that was a Freudian slip. I think that was a Freudian slip, y'all. That is not the last thing somebody would say to you. Is don't hurt me. Not good night. Not I love you. Not I'll talk to you tomorrow. The last thing my mother ever said to me was don't hurt me. That's why it made it into the dramatization. And the other thing was she said that Gypsy gave Dee Dee a hug, and Dee Dee said, what's that for? I'm not dead yet. That's a really odd. Somebody hugs you and you're like, what's that for? I'm not dead yet. That's why that made it into the dramatization. Yeah, she said, I know. See, Kimberly, I caught that too. She went to bed. I caught that too. Now, you could be talking out of order or whatever. Hold on. I caught that too.
We painted each other's nails. And I acted like everything was fine.
Watch.
We had just recently gotten into an argument.
Got into an argument.
And we had made up.
We made up.
And I said I was going to be a good girl.
Gonna be a good girl.
And then when she went to sleep,
She went to sleep.
I guess I hurt her feelings or something.
She went to sleep.
She said, starting to feel more relaxed.
I'm starting to feel more
Don't hurt
relaxed.
me.
Don't hurt me. She went to sleep, and then she said, I'm starting to feel more relaxed. Don't hurt me. That's weird. That's weird. That's weird. That's weird. She literally says she went to sleep, and then she said, don't hurt me. That was her own words. That was her own words. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, she supposedly had sleeping meds and whatever, but just saying, she said the last thing she said, she went to sleep. Now, people do talk backwards, and she could have been like, she went to sleep, she was saying that she was tired and not to hurt, whatever. I don't know. Last thing your parent says to you is don't hurt me though. She's getting ready. You guys have a fight. You make up. And the last thing you say is don't hurt me. I mean, I guess when this live gets played again on somebody else's live later tonight, I'm sure you can catch it in the butt fuck of the morning. It will be played on somebody's live, guaranteed. If you know, you know. And it will be an emotional don't hurt me. Don't hurt me. They got into a fight. And she was saying, don't hurt me emotionally anymore. I'm sure that's what'll be said, I'm sure. But, and I'm sure that, you've caught my live on here and you've caught it on YouTube, and I'm sure you'll catch it again later. Because God forbid anybody ever say anything, whatever. But, So yeah, so the topic was essentially just the fact that I had seen it had come across my FYP of the channeling of the dog, the bear. And I didn't watch it. A friend sent it to me, said, this is wild, you need to watch it type deal. And so I watched it, and I just went back to the whole dramatization thing, that was literally exactly what I said had happened, that she had started on her mom, couldn't finish, got her to the brink. Nick came, framed Nick, and that's what the bear said happened. So, luckily, a few people happen to have recorded the dramatization. So, are you kidding me? Did my sound just go out on YouTube again? You're kidding. Okay. Okay, cool. Okay, perfect. Oh. Well, the bear, look. The bear said it by beeping. So yeah, it did say it. Anyway. I know every time I met the YouTube, people are having to leave and come back. I have never had that happen. I have never had that happen on my YouTubes ever. I have never had a no sound stands for today when my mics keep going out, that now even when I'm using this, the sound keeps going in and out. There, thank you. The bear provided confirmation. There, that helps. I know but I've always had a thing with electronics. I've told you guys this in lives before. For those of you who come to a lot of my lives or have been in my lives for the past 3 years, I'm one of those people that when they're driving, a streetlight will pop off, or I can drain a battery in like minutes and things like that. I've always been weird with electronics, so it's kind of funny that this is happening to my YouTube right now. So, but yeah. So anyway, I wanted to get on a live and talk about that because I thought that was very, very interesting. That this bear basically confirmed what I had went through and said on that dramatization. And the fact that, yes, me and Fancy were talking about the whole Dan thing prior. And whether Dan was there or not there, that was some speculation that had happened of whether or not Dan had been there. And funnily enough, after me and Fancy split, and were driven towards hating each other, Dan stopped being talked about. And then Dan started being talked about only in the fact that it wasn't the right Dan. So we were talking about Dan and bringing Dan in, and then all of a sudden, Dan was no longer being discussed. Me and Fancy went our ways. And then suddenly it was being put out there that Dan wasn't Dan. And that Dan was in prison, except I showed you guys with all the court documents he was not in prison, but then it's not the same Dan. It's actually a Dan that looks 10 years younger on Facebook from a side view, et cetera, et cetera. Now, I'm not going to get, like I said, I'm not going to beat the whole Dan thing. I do find it funny. Just going to say, she talks about Dan being there. We talked about Dan being there. All of a sudden, we're being told Dan isn't Dan. Almost like he's being covered for, whatever. But anyway, maybe he's being covered for. Maybe he isn't. I don't know. Something to think about. Something to think about. Maybe he is. Maybe he isn't. But I find it interesting that Dan wasn't being talked about till me and Fancy started throwing it out there that he may have been there. And then all of a sudden, me and Fancy have our issues. I get talked to. I go against Fancy even more. Dan gets not Dan'd, covered for. You know, it's not like the Blanchards haven't reached out to numerous people and changed their minds. Me, Kate, Into the Weeds. Just saying. Just throwing that out there. Just throwing that out there. Seems like every time something needs to be handled, somebody gets reached out to, somebody gets talked to, and somebody changes their mind. So, just throwing that out there. Kind of weird. Just saying. Things to think about. Things to think about. Nick, well, no, Nick mentioned, he said, I will apologize to everybody but Dan. Why would Nick randomly say that in an interrogation? He said, I will apologize to everybody but Dan. That was weird. That was weird. That was weird. Well, Nick would have said in court if Dan was there. I mean, going by that sentiment, he would have said whether or not Gypsy did it. But then again, he's always hidden. He said he knows things that he'll take to his grave. He knows things that would blow things wide open. He said that. And if covering for Gypsy meant covering for Dan to not hurt Gypsy, well, it would make sense to not say it. I don't know. I have no idea. I have no idea. None of us are ever going to know. Dan was the ex-boyfriend. You know, she said that she learned all of the alter egos from Nick, except Dan went on record and said that she did alter egos with him. Now, there's always been one thing that has been, you know, weird to me, which is, and I thought about it, you know, Dan did show up in Nick's 2022 appeal, but he's been in abscond, I mean, almost continually since about 2015, 2016, as I showed in court documents. And he said, well, if he was absconded, they would have got him there, right? If this was the Dan that Fancy says is the Dan. Dan did show up to Nick's appeal. That's documented. He said what he had to say, and he left. And you say, well, if he was in abscond, why wouldn't they have gotten him there? I don't know. Does that give credence to Bree? Yep. However, if you guys ever did look at Fancy's different mugshots, hers say failure to abscond too, because there was an issue with her. So I don't know. She was in failure to abscond and they kept letting her go too. So I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Dan is Dan or Dan isn't Dan. I don't know. I don't know. We'll never know. I just think it's funny he keeps getting brought up, and it just sounds like a cover up to me, but whatever. What the hell do I know? I don't know anything. Never will. Nobody's ever going to know. Unless somehow somebody gets ballsy like OJ and does an If I Did It book, which then again, when the money dries up and there's no show to be had, no more book deals to be had, no more babies you can grift $900 strollers off of, maybe there will be a If I Did It book. She actually did talk about a lot about stuff in prison. I'm not saying she necessarily confessed, but there was a lot of things she talked about in prison that absolutely did happen. She told somebody in prison that she set the thermostat to 40 degrees and the thermostat had been changed. There was a jailer that was there that was a first responder that Fancy had interviewed, which is gone now because her account's gone. But she had interviewed a first responder, and that thermostat absolutely was set the way that the person in jail said it was. So, I mean, you can say whatever you want. However, you're wrong. So that's cool. It's funny how there's always two men in her storyline. Oh, that's interesting. There was Dan and Nick. There's Ryan and Ken. Some people like to be fought over. It's makes it happy. Makes them happy. Makes them feel wanted and loved. You know, if you were to believe Ryan, he messages her. Or sorry, she messages him. I was looking off this direction. If you were to believe Ryan, he says that she messages him. I think she's keeping him in the corner in case shit goes AWOL with Ken, personally. I think she's going to keep Ryan breadcrumbed. They're really good at breadcrumbing. I think she's going to keep Ryan breadcrumbed just enough in case Ken loses it and splits. I really do. She's a succubus, they say. So this is where the Dan thing goes astray. This is why nobody can. There's a real easy way. To find out if Dan is Dan. There's a real easy way. And we're going to do it. I'm going to get a hold of somebody. We're going to do it. We've been talking about this. There's a real easy way to find out if Bree's Dan or Fancy's Dan is Dan. Super easy. It's not been done yet. Don't know why it's not been done yet, but it's going to be done. It's super easy. It's let me tell you how easy it is. So there was in an interview, in a clip, you guys will know what I'm talking about. Somebody had to have seen it. In one of the clips, in one of the shows, in one of the interviews, Gypsy says something about the fact that Dan and drugs, right? Somewhere in there, I don't know the exact clip. I didn't see it, but I've been told about it numerous times. That somewhere in her show, somewhere in an interview, somewhere she talked about the fact that Dan had gotten in trouble for drugs, etc. Right? If somebody could find that for me, that'd be great. But regardless, I'm not going to need it. So anyway, I found the Comic-Con thing. It happened February 17th. I have the clipping. I have the clipping from VisionCon. I have the clipping. I went back and I got it out of the newspaper. I went to a newspaper archive online, and I have the screenshot of it. I know exactly when it was. That's not the thing though. But anyway, there was a thing where I'll have to have somebody's got to find it for me so I can show y'all, because I don't know where they found it. I've been told this by numerous people. Anyways, there was a clip where she said something about Dan had been in trouble for drugs. Okay. Super easy, super simple. You want to know how easy this is to find out? Okay, here you go. This will put it down. This will put it down. This will put any and all doubt to rest. It's this simple. If somebody sends me that Dan clip where she says that Dan had gotten in trouble for drugs, that would say that Dan got in trouble for drugs, correct? Okay, cool. Fancy's Dan absolutely went to jail for drugs. 100%. I have his court records, okay? That's how I proved that he wasn't in jail. I have his court records. He was absolutely in trouble for drugs. Right before it happened. Okay? Now, it's super simple. Bree's Dan did live in Arkansas and Missouri. Okay? Point for her. Fancy's Dan lived in Arkansas and Missouri. Point for her. Fancy's Dan went to prison for drugs. Fancy gets a point. Did Bree's Dan get picked up for drugs? All we have to do is background check him. Boom, done. That easy. Because whatever Dan, who lived in Arkansas and Missouri, has a drug conviction. Now, would it be interesting if they both had a drug conviction? That would be wild. Then we have to find something else. But as it stands currently, the tally is in Fancy's favor. That's the one that I think it is too. Just saying. I'm gonna stay kind of, because I want to see proof. Now, if I have to pick, I'm going to Fancy's side because it makes more sense. I'm just saying. Okay, I like this one. I heard this. So I seen a screenshot of this. So Gypsy went into a live and randomly out of nowhere, I think it was in Bree's live, randomly out of nowhere says, "Oh my God, I just totally remembered that Dan's birthday is August 16th. Why would I remember that?" I don't know. Why would you? And why would you randomly say that in a live? Because Fancy's Dan is January 73. Now, I've looked up Dan Breeze Dan. I did not bother to in depth look him up, which I plan on doing here. And we can see is his birthday August 16th. Maybe, I don't know. We can see if he has a drug conviction. Maybe, I don't know. So that would definitely help. That would definitely help. Okay, so here's another thing, Chrissy. Here's my problem with the whole look this way, don't look this way. You say, I looked him up, I found his Facebook. So does that mean he's the right one because he has a Facebook? Like every other narrative we've been fed, you don't think that there's a possibility that you were told to look in the wrong direction? You weren't possibly just said, hey, look at this guy. Don't look over here. Look over here. Like this has been happening the entire case. The entire case has been look here, don't here. Look at that, Dan. Don't look at this, Dan. You think that it possibly could not possibly, just saying, just throwing this out here, devil's advocate, just because you found his Facebook and he's a real person, that is who it is? I don't know. I have no idea. I couldn't tell you. It's just weird. It's weird that me and Fancy were talking about it. Shit hits the fan. We stopped talking about it. And then all of a sudden, Dan's not Dan. I don't know. Like, why even bring it up? Why even bring it up? Why even bring it up? Here, have fun talking to yourself because you're getting on my nerves. Bye. She can talk to herself. She's getting on my nerves. What do I hope to get from it? Nothing. There's nothing that's going to be got from it. Point is, curiosity killed the Mew Mew. Okay? Yeah, you can make a fake Facebook. You can fill it with all sorts of pictures. Somebody having a Facebook doesn't mean dick. You can make a fake Facebook. I'm just going to throw this out there. You can take this however you want. You can believe it. You can not believe it. I don't care. If Dan, the whole sentiment, the whole thing that, oh, this couldn't be the right Dan, he was in jail. He wasn't. I proved that with court records. Look at this Dan. Look at him over here. Look at him. I'm not going to show his real thing. I'm only going to show the side of the dude in that picture was like 22 years old. Now I get maybe he drank the fountain of youth. Maybe I don't know. Now, is there absolutely a picture of Gypsy with somebody who looks exactly like Jail Dan? Yep. His face is blurred, but you can still tell. Just putting that out there. There's a picture. Don't ask me. I don't have it. Sorry. I wish I did. Didn't think to screenshot it, or I did, and it's lost in my screenshots. Couldn't tell you. But there's a picture of her with a guy whose face is blurred, who I think it's on Reddit, who does look exactly like Jail Dan. Now, the other guys who were supposedly at Comic-Con, and it was supposedly them, they all look 20-something, and if they're supposed to be 35 or whatever, they don't look like it. Dan was supposed to be 35, and Jail Dan would have been 38. Okay, that's the consensus there. That is where it couldn't be, because Dan was supposed to be 35, and he was actually 38. Can I just throw this out there? Can I just throw this out? She or he could have lied about his 35ness. Just saying, you could do that. If you look on the article, Dan is shown on the stand. I looked at the article. I did not see where the caption said Dan Glidewell is on stand. Do you have an article? I would love to see that, because if we could put this to bed, you guys know me. I'm cool. I will have pie on my face. I don't care. You got something like dead ass, like, look, here he is on the stand. He looks nothing like Fancy's Dan. Cool. I will play it for you. Send it to my Instagram. However, are you the Exposing the Lies 3 on TikTok? Because I got a question for you if you are. I have a question. It's a burning question. I've had it for like a week. You might not be, though, because you just say Exposing the Lies. So you may not be Exposing the Lies 3 on TikTok, but I have a question if you are. So, yeah, if there's a picture with the caption of Dan Glidewell takes the stand, Cool. I want to see it. Show me. I will literally show it on the live and say, look, boom, done. Fancy's wrong. Bree is right. I got no problem. Because like I said, do I think it's Fancy's Dan? Yeah. Could it not be? Yeah. The reason why I think it is because there is a clip of Gypsy saying that Dan went to jail for drugs. Well, Fancy's Dan went to jail for drugs. Half the background, Bree's Dan. If Bree's Dan went to jail for drugs too, cool. Then we got works. Well, let's see it. Send it to my Instagram. Ryan.lee.tm. He cleans up pretty good. Let's show everybody. Send it to me. I will absolutely put it up here for the world to enjoy. I got zero problem. I ain't got a stake in the game, dude. I ain't got a stake in the game. If somebody has proof, cool, they're going to send it to me. Cool. Let's see. That will, okay, we've all seen Felon Dan, Fancy's Dan. We've all seen him. We've all seen, well, some of us have seen the person that Bree says is Dan. So it needs a caption though, because that just a random guy on the stand, we don't know who that is. We don't know. It has to be like, I've tried. I've looked. I went through the court manuscript. I found the entire court manuscript from the appeal. I found what he said in the appeal. I found where it said he was there in the appeal. Could not find any pictures. If you got a picture, let me see it. I will absolutely, dude, if this looks nothing like Felon Dan, I will literally be like, it couldn't be. But I would have to say this, because and unless I can't find the clip of Gypsy saying that Dan got in trouble for drugs, which I've been told there is a clip of, but I do not have it. The other Dan would have had to been in jail for drugs too. And all we have to do is background check him. Because there is absolutely, and I will say, like I said, the scales are hard because Fancy's Dan lived in Oklahoma and Missouri and had a drug charge and was in his 30s. Bree's Dan lived in Oklahoma and Arkansas and was in his 30s, and I don't know if he had a drug charge. So it's very like, it could be either one. It could be. It absolutely could be. 100%. I'm still siding over here for now, but I can be swayed. I am the type, I will change my mind when given facts. If you give me a fact and you show me a fact, I'm not going to sit here and be like, nope, it's wrong. Obviously, if there's a fact, your mind has to be changed. It has to be changed. So if this dude looks absolutely nothing, because I've seen Fancy's Dan's mugshots throughout the years. I got like 4 of them. I got his 2021, his 2022, his 2024. I've got all the mugshots. I've seen them all. I know what he looks like. That if this guy looks nothing like him, well, that would answer a whole lot. That would answer a whole lot. It was in the prison confessional. I didn't watch the prison confessional. Oh, what? Which part? The part of Dan being on the stand, or where she said Dan had drug issues? Please do not make me watch it. Somebody, if you have the clip, please send it to me. I don't want to watch it. I don't want to give them any money. Is it on YouTube for free? If it's on YouTube for free, I'll watch it. I don't want to give them any money. The part about the drug issues you think is in the prison confessional? Kill me. Is it on YouTube? Please tell me it's on YouTube. I don't want to watch it. I don't want to pay. I don't want to have to. I already feel like shit because I'm already clicking a link that goes to Lifetime, and I'm pretty sure I'm putting money in their pocket. Not 100, but pretty sure. So if he had drug issues, I'm sorry that. And now if Breeze has drug issues, then again, there's still a spot. Now I will say this. Without saying any names. I don't know if they're lurking in here. They may be lurking in here. I've seen a few names try to lurk in here. I know somebody, without saying any names, close to the family, or was. Maybe they still are. You never know with this family. There was somebody extremely close to this family I have screenshots. Fuck with me and find out. That is dead set. That Fancy's Dan is Dan. Weird. I'm just saying it's weird. And when I say close to the family, I mean, and they are very adamant that Fancy's Dan is the right Dan, which is why I had to laugh when I'm like, this is weird. Like, now it's saying that he's not, but that's not, like, I took screenshots. I was like, I ain't losing this. Like, I got those screenshots. Numerous. This isn't just a 1 off, 2 off, 3 off. This is a lot off. A lot off. Whole conversations of Fancy's Dan being the right Dan. So, I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I could be wrong. I could absolutely be wrong. She could be wrong. We could all be wrong. But that leads me to the next question. If I was being told repeatedly that Fancy's Dan is the right Dan and he's the wrong Dan, why are we covering for that Dan now? Because I'm telling you, either way it goes, there's a Dan being covered up for. And why? Why is Dan being covered up for? Why? Because I'm going to tell you, somebody from her camp absolutely 100% said that Fancy's Dan is the right Dan. Now, her camp is saying 100% not the same Dan. Somebody's being covered up for, and I don't know why. Because if this person knows it wasn't and kept feeding me it was, and she's right, why? And if she's been feeding me this whole time and she was right, why is she saying that it wasn't? I don't know. My mind is boggled. Not even gonna lie. But let's say this, let's say that this picture comes and it's legit and it's not him. Then why was his family friend telling me it was? Multiple times. Whole conversations. That's weird to me. I don't even know if I can check my Instagram on here. I don't even know if I have Instagram on here. Nothing, like I said, nothing on everything on here. It's like everything is shorting out today. I can't get anything to work correctly. I could have swore at some point I had Instagram on here. It does not look like I do anymore. So I'm going to have to look on my phone if they did send it. And then I will absolutely do another live and be like, here, this is it. Either way. Oh, we got a puzzle piece going on. If you missed this live, if you just started this live, if you want to watch this live over again, you can watch on Ryan Lee TM YouTube, or I'm sure it will be played on somebody else's live later. Didn't Gypsy have pictures with Dan from convention? So like I said, there is a picture on Reddit. I don't think I screenshotted it. Probably should have. There's a picture of Gypsy with a guy whose face is blurred. But through the blur, it does look impeccably a lot like Fancy's Dan. It does. Just saying. It does. Now, the pictures from the Comic-Con that Bree puts up and swears it's one of these two guys, they all look 20-something. Like I said, then again, maybe the Fountain of Youth. I have no idea. And as for, is there a Facebook of the guy? I don't know. I have no idea. I just think it's weird. I don't know why we keep getting steered all these directions over Dan. What does he play? Because if you listen to The Bear, he was there in some capacity. Me and Fancy were very, very on the whole Dan-ish, something having to do with Dan track. And then when we split, we were so busy going after each other that we didn't speak about the Dan thing very much. And then she did. And then it was, but it's not the right one. Why does it matter? Why even bring it up if it was or if it wasn't? Why does it matter? I don't know. Well, I don't want the wrong guy. Well, you told the wrong guy was in prison too. You said he was in prison. He wasn't in prison. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. There is. You're gonna have to watch it from the beginning. Somebody did a channeling session with a bear, and the bear essentially, basically, said that my dramatization was correct. I don't know. We'll never know. But yeah, so I'm wondering if they if they did send it to me on Instagram. I can't check it. I don't know why I pay for this tablet. It's a brand new tablet. I can't get it to work. I have no idea. I have no idea. But apparently I had Instagram on there. Now it's not on there. So shocker. I can't okay, let's see. Hold on. Yeah, passcode. Got it. Perfect. Unless I don't think they changed their little icon or whatever. It's not on here. I do not have it on here. I thought I did. I need to put it on there though, because I always tell people to send me stuff on Instagram. Yeah, I don't have it on here. That sucks. I hope they come back though, because I got a question for them. The person is Candace Star. Yeah, I'm aware. I said that, and she's a Munchausen survivor. I know that. Maybe that's why she was interested. I want Exposing to come back. I have a question for him. It's been bothering me, and I don't want to message them and ask, but at the same time, I want to know. I have a question. Everybody keeps getting on fancy about the fact that her book doesn't come out, her book doesn't come out, her book doesn't come out. She keeps saying her book is going to come out. I seem to remember that Exposing the Lies on TikTok anyway said that they were going to drop this big, huge 5-part expose on June 30th. I wanted to see it. Where is it? I just wanted to know where it was because they said they were going to put it out in August and then they were going to put it out June 30th. And the TikTok has gone completely silent since about 8 days before when it was supposed to drop. And there's people on 30th saying, where is it? Where is it? And nothing. I'm just wondering where it is. I want to see it. I'm interested. I'm invested. I feel like a lot gets done. A lot gets said about, I'm going to show this and I'm going to show that. Nobody ever shows stuff. Her channel is about paranormal justice, huh? That's interesting. I don't know. It's, it's definitely interesting to think about. It's definitely interesting to, whether or not it's legit, isn't legit. I don't know. I definitely do dabble in the paranormal, obviously. I've made no bones about that, but I also got an issue with, just being able to sit in a room and call on a passed on person and they just show up. I mean, I don't think any of us know how time and space really work. And if energy never dies, they're all around us. But I just find it odd that, Debbie in Chicago can be like, okay, Ted Bundy, we'd like to talk to you. And he shows up. That's the part that I have an issue with. Could it happen? Could it not happen? I don't know. I just thought it was super interesting that basically everything she said in that thing was exactly what I said in January. But in the end, we'll never know unless she writes a book like OJ. We'll never know. But it's always fun to theorize. So, anyway, that's about. They have not. I can't get to whether or not they sent me the Instagram or not. I have no idea. I will not touch Ouija boards. No, thank you. I do have dowsing rods. That's about as divining, other than tarot readings, of course. I do tarot readings. But other than tarot readings, the only divining tool that I've ever really used is dowsing rods. And I've never actually tried to use them for this. I've never even thought to use them for this. My dowsing rods do not tell me what I want. I can tell you that. They act on their own. They are very they do whatever they want to do. It would be interesting to do a dowsing rod session with them and see what would happen. I will not screw with a Ouija board. That's just not going to happen. Not going to happen ever. I have lots of Ouija board aesthetics, but I will not actually use one. My mom used one. It went to hell in a handbasket real quick. I'm good. I'm very good. No, thank you. So, anyways, that is my live today. I wanted to get on here and talk about that teddy bear video. Apparently, she has a second one up, part 2. I have a pendulum. My pendulum hates me. I don't use it. She has a part 2 where I guess people asked her questions. I didn't see that one yet. So I guess if you guys are interested in whatever gets said, go look. She's Candace Starr on TikTok. There's supposedly a part 2. I don't know what it entails, but I am going to go get some food because I am starving. So I will see you guys later for sure at some point. And over here, I want to say for posterity, let's look at Instagram real quick and see if they did send it, because I do have Instagram on my phone. So let's see if they sent it on Instagram. So I do not have any requests. They did not send anything. I have no requests. So either they're trying to find it, can't find it, don't have it, whatever. I do not have any requests on Instagram that show anything. So I couldn't tell you. I'm just very agitated because I pay attention to who comes in and out of my TikTok lives. It's one thing I like about TikTok that YouTube does not do, which is it shows you every time somebody enters a room so you can see who's in, who's not, even if they're not talking. And so one thing that was extremely irritating was I saw this and I thought I didn't see it, but I did. There is a drama that is going on that is out of me. I don't have anything to do with nothing. I don't know nothing about nothing. But so there's a girl who's going after Thea. This is her right here. And she's got a photo. And it is under the name Phoenix is a phony. Okay. Her name used to be like Not Phoenix Investigates or something, right? And then for some reason it shows my cousin entering or name very close to my cousin with the same picture, which again, odd. But also I have Thea's account that goes after her person who's going after her. And she's right here. Thea came into the live under that account, trying to make me think it was my friend, but my friend happened to come in as well. And same picture. And if you go to her, let's see, we'll just one second. This is very agitating that she is still in my lives, still coming in my lives, and I have said repeatedly to leave me alone. So, all right. So this came in under 2 different names. This could have been my friend. Just looking. This actually could have been my friend. It came in under 2 different things. So that could have been my friend, and Thea did not come in. So this could have been my friend. It brought it in under 2 different names of hers. So I can say at least that I didn't catch. Thea didn't come in. And if she did, I didn't catch it. So I wanted to actually do the work here and look and pay attention. And so what it did is it brought, but the weird thing is it still has my cousin's name with that picture. TikTok must have glitched because it still has my cousin's name, but with her picture. Yeah, because here she is perfectly fine, her normal picture. TikTok was messing up today. YouTube was messing up today. Because I have it all in here. It had my friend come in under 2 different names. It was the this name and the this name. You know how you have like, I have Ryan Lee TM, and then underneath it, my name's like Ryan Lee with a TM. Like you have 2 different names. It had her come in under her 2 different names, which is why I thought the one was Thea, and it was not. And then it put her picture on my cousin's name. Odd. Anyways, that is the Gypsy live about the bear. I'm sure you'll see it on somebody else's live later. I did not ever get a picture of Dan on the stand. So that's about where we are at. Did you see the TikTok account someone made under Dee Dee Blanchard has been commenting on Gypsy's things? That's wrong. I have not, and that is wrong. Look, I get it. Karma, yada, yada. She deserves it, yada, yada. That's wrong. That's, I don't know, like that. I'm not, that's above. And I guess they were doing that with the baby registry and saying that she bought it or whatever, but that's not okay. I don't know. Just don't think it's okay. But I am going to get off of here. I got to go eat. I'm hungry. So I will talk to you guys soon.